Good morning. Off into town to pick up some irrigation equipment, some sprinklers. The monsoon wet season is over, apparently. The monsoon has retreated north, so off out, need a few hundred sprinklers so that we can just keep some moisture around the root systems of the young trees whilst they power away. Jackfruit are pretty good in terms of drought once they're established, and especially when you're mulching a lot, which is what we do. But for the young trees, yeah, just need to get some sprinklers. So that's my job for this morning. It's a sure sign that I've been out and bought some irrigation equipment. It is absolutely pouring down. Murphy's Law, eh?
Our 7-acre farm is located on the Cassowary coast, in the wet tropics of far north Queensland, Australia, where the rainforest meets the reef. We grow commercial crops of tropical fruit, jackfruit and canistel, and also use our spare land to fulfill our dream of becoming more self-sufficient. In our weekly videos, we share with you our slice of paradise and our life on the farm.
Hey folks, welcome back. It's the next morning. I spent the evening putting those sprinklers together. They come in 3 parts: the stake that goes in the ground, the hosing, and then the actual sprinkler head. So here we are. They are only in the wheelbarrow just for ease, because I don't want rubbish getting into the outlets. So it just comes as a hose, like so, and then the heads are separate. These are 45 litres a minute. So I spent the evening last night putting, I think, 400 of these together. These stakes are quite loose fitting, so there was no point putting these in last night because they just kept coming off again. So the job this morning is to start putting the sprinklers on. They did have, while they were young, I'd got drip feed, because the drip feed, then it's quite close to the root system and doesn't encourage lots of weeds to grow and such like. But now they're beginning to get away. I need a wider spread of irrigation just to help the roots to develop. So this is a what do you call it? A splicing tool if you're splicing ropes. So use it for creating the hole and expanding the hole. Irrigation in. The stake. And push it well in. Sometimes just have to move it around a little bit. If I hit a stone and it stops it, move it a couple of inches. But yeah, it just the stake just sails in when it's this sort of weather. Next job is I have here an old IBC tank. Yeah, got this old 1,000-litre shuttle, and got some concrete blocks which I've augured a 100mm hole down underneath each one. So these will be concreted in, and then the tank there will be on top of here, and the plan is we're going to cut it off at about the 3rd rung up, and that should give it a nice height then, and we'll use that for a wash tank so that we can put the fruit in there, clean it all, and then I'll plumb it in, the outlet, plumb that in so that it discharges further at the back there, out the way. And then that means that we can get rid of the old sink there. And what, 3rd rung, so that's probably going to be in the region of about 300 litres, I would say. Maybe a touch more, 350. So that gives us plenty of capacity for loading it up with fruit and cleaning it, and the fruit float up anyway, so that'll be easy for get them out and then emptying. So that's in preparation for when we cover this section, hopefully this winter if we can. So just going to run the angle grinder around these. Just need to make sure that the drop is towards the outlet. Slight tilt on it, so everything drains nice. Now I've got to lift it off, fill those auger holes and concrete blocks with cement, put it back on, and Bob's your uncle. So if you remember, a couple of videos ago I showed how when I was mowing I was leaving just a line of grass that wasn't getting cut, because over the last 18 months I suppose the blades have worn short a little bit. So plan today is to get those blades off. I'm going to jack up the mower, hopefully that'll give me enough height where I can get underneath and get the bolts off. Got a length of wood here to sort of block the blades, because they're only on belts. When you try and undo the bolt that holds the blades in place, the whole blades turn. So I just have this block of wood handy to do that. So let's get it jacked up. So jacked up, I have a block here just as a safety thing, so that if the jack does slip or anything, it's all supported. Next job is get underneath and have a look at those nuts. So decent sized nut there. I'm going to guess, whoa, it's got to be 20 some odd mils. 23. No, not quite. 24. Ah, yes. All right. So we're going to have to block this. Hang on, which way are we now? Lefty loosey, righty tighty. So lefty is this way. So I'm going to have to block it against the back here. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Well, I'll find out in a minute. Got a pipe to extend for extra leverage, hopefully. That'll work. Oh. Do. Okay. So, with that, get that wedged in there, and hopefully can we get it? Trouble is, there's always they're always wet, these, because of the grass. Nope, that's bending the bar. Wow. Wow. I think I've got problems. Well, that was harder than it should have been. That is dry as a bone. And tight, or what? That's the breaker bar that's bent. Hate doing it, but ended up having to use a pipe wrench just to crack it, and then get it off. Yeah, well worn. So, not even going to attempt to resharpen these. I'll just get a new set. You can sharpen these mower blades, but you've got to be careful. Right, see how the left hand side just drops down? So there's more weight there than there is here. I mean, I don't know why that's happening. Well, they're worn, so maybe that's part of the problem. But if you're resharpening them, you need to make sure that they are balanced, because if it's one side's heavier, it will wear the bearings quicker. So I've got to get the other blades off now. So that's the blades off. Get into town tomorrow, pick some new ones up. A lot of this damage was done when I caught some wire off the trellising that had didn't realise the staples had come out, which they do when it's wet dry on pine wood, which is what the posts are. So the staple had come out down in amongst the grass, and I just caught it, and yeah, quite a bit of damage there on these blades. So definitely needed changing. Okay folks, that's all we've got for this week. Thanks for watching. Bye bye now.